Welcome back, guys, to This and Much More podcast. I'm Evelyn, and my lovely co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And our special guest today is
Angelica Cortave from Carmen's Flowers.
Welcome for sure. Before we get into what you do, actually, no, let's get into what you do, and then you can tell us about your name, because you said it's Angelica and then it's Carmen's, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us, what all do you do?
So I am a florist, but I do a lot of other stuff. I'm always busy, very busybody. So like right now, yes, I have my floral business, but also like I just mentioned, I handle media for our church. So like it's a lot of graphics and video content and pictures.
Did you go to school for that, or did you just
no.
learn us?
Well, in school, my senior year at U of H, I ended up handling public relations for 2 organizations. No idea how I got there. But I was like, I got nominated for it. I was like, all right, okay. So that's when I first started realizing like behind like graphics and like stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that was actually what sparked my creativity again. As a kid, I was super, super creative, and like I had like the little mesita, my little colors and paint and everything. But then when I started going through like high school and middle school and everything, I was very focused on my school, which is like, that's the other thing that I do. Right now I'm in my first year of physical therapy school. So hopefully in another year, I'll be a licensed physical therapy assistant.
Oh,
so
that's
I'll have that. So I do a lot. And like I mentioned, I have my bachelor's already in kinesiology from U of H. But when I started with those organizations is whenever I realized like, hey, this is kind of fun. Like this is kind of like crafting again, like when I was little.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of like sparked the creativity in me again, was being able to like do that. And I look back at the very first stuff that I made for them and I'm like, so sorry. I've gotten better at it, I promise.
She's like, so sorry.
Yeah, so sorry. But again, like that organization too, it's funny that I come on the podcast now because I'm like just mentioned, like her and I are like really great friends. Like she's like my sister, like love her. And I don't know if y'all know, but like Terry was my manager.
You worked
I just feel like Terry knows
everybody.
Wait,
at the
really
at the shoe store?
Yeah. So I've actually known Terry longer than I've known Jess because of Foot Locker. I worked for Foot Locker for like 7 years. A really long time. So like I knew him, and then recently y'all had Edgar on here.
Oh yeah.
And so he was actually a guest speaker at one of those organization like meetings. And so when I heard him talking, it was still like, this was pre-COVID, right? So nobody was stuck at home trying to figure out what to do. But like he started talking about like entrepreneurship and like, you know, doing all that stuff on your own and the passion that he has for everything, you know? And I had never really heard anybody talk like that yet, because this was still like in 2018, 2019. So people were obviously building their own businesses, but I feel like definitely after COVID, you know, everybody really wanted to figure out like their own hobby and like, you know, a way to make a business and things like that. So when I first started hearing him talk about things and like how he said something that like still to this day like stuck with me, was like it doesn't matter like if you create something, and like as long as you put your heart in it and you're passionate about it and you love it, even if nobody else in the world loves it, like all that matters is that you do. And I was like, dang, like that's true. And I was like, you know what, like I love flowers. The name came from my abuela Carmen, because she loved flowers. Like she was like an encyclopedia of plants and flowers, but like before the internet. So I don't know how she knew. I don't know how she knew about everything that goes into taking care of them and like the names of them and everything. And if I were to pull up a picture of her, like any picture of her is her wearing a floral print dress.
Oh, really?
That's all she owned, was just like floral print dresses.
Dang.
So when she would come like in the summers or whenever, like from Guatemala, I would like just garden with her or just like sit with her all the time, and she loved them. So like we would always go and like look at plants or whatever. And when I started going and like practicing more, I would just make arrangements for like the house just for myself. And so the page started because I love to take pictures of them, and I was like, let me just start posting them, but not spam my personal account. And so that's how like the page came about, and I named it after her, Carmen's Flowers. So it's always funny whenever people come up to me and they're like, oh my God, Carmen. And I'm like, hi. Not me, but you know what? It's fun. Like, it's fun hearing people like say her name, you know, like, cause she passed maybe like 5 or 7 years ago.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like,
yeah. So she never, I mean, she didn't know that I did this, obviously. No, but
she don't know you're taking her identity.
Yeah, she doesn't know. But it's fun for me, like, having people like hear that and having people like, you know, say it. And it's the fact that, like, you know, it's still honoring her and like her legacy, like that people don't even know about.
No, yeah, I can relate in a lot of levels of like what you were saying, because like me, I was pretty much like raised by my grandparents, you know, and my grandma, her name was Milagro. By the time this drops, my, you know, Mother's Day edition drop is going to be out already. Okay. Probably closed, I think. But I'm doing a shirt. It says Soy Milagrosa. But it's like in reference of to like my grandma. My gosh, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And then our son's name, his name is Milo, right? But my grandma, I didn't even tell him, but I'm pretty sure he knew. But right, babe?
Yeah. About his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, I found this name on Pinterest. But it was in the back of my mind. It was like, I was thinking about my grandma because her name was Milagro, and it was short, Mila for short, you know. So my son's name is Milo, you know. But
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was like,
she was trying to hide it. Like, I'm going to secretly name it after my grandma.
Because they name all the grandkids after the grandparents. Literally, like, all the grandkids have something.
Yeah. So but I just think.
So I was like, let's not do that, you know, for our kid. But then she ended up doing it anyway. But I mean, I like the name anyway.
And we have a daughter. I already have the name, and it's regarding my grandma too. So, you know what's so crazy? That my son was born on my grandpa's birthday. So he has like a name de mi abuela, and then his birthday is my grandpa, and they both passed away already. So it's like, yeah,
that's kind of how my brother is. Like, my brother, he was supposed to be named just after one of my grandpas, but then it turned out like he ended up being born on my other grandpa's birthday, so they named him after both. Like, his name is Ricardo Feliciano. Like, he got named both. Yeah. And out of like the 90 grandkids, yeah, my brother's like the only one that has his birthday.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, is your grandma on mom or dad?
On my mom's side. But what's funny still about the names is that her name isn't Carmen.
What's her name?
Her name, well, they're still not sure. They're not sure if it was Victoria or Victorina. But she would go by Carmen.
Like, she just picked that name.
I don't know how that name came about, honestly.
And how do they not know, like, her name?
Well, my grandma, okay, to put in perspective, she passed away maybe like 6 years ago. But she passed away at the age of 95.
Oh, wow.
So, like, they're not completely sure because, like, those documents are so old. And, like, you know, everything was paper.
And then whenever you come over here, a lot of, you know, the information just gets, you know, put wrong down. Like, your dad, he has 2 birthdays.
My dad has 2 birthdays.
So many people have told me that. And I have a friend who says he celebrates it on like his US birthday, but his mom celebrates it on like the birthday she thinks it is.
Yeah. We do the same for my father-in-law. We celebrate him like on whatever day lands like closer to the weekend, right?
Yeah.
But it is crazy, you know, because I was gonna say, how does your mom feel about like the whole business thing?
It makes her really happy. Like, it makes her so happy, like, knowing like everything that goes, because she knows everything that goes behind it. I mean, she helps me, and so it makes her laugh though, because like I'm really the only grandchild that ever like took that love that she had, and like I also have that. But again, like she helped raise me for like this first 6 months that I was alive, because my mom went right back to work and my dad was working the whole time. So it was really her and my grandpa that took care of me like those first 6 months, year that I was even alive.
Yeah.
And she was really I loved all my grandparents, but she was the one who I held really close to my heart, because she would come really often, and like she would spend a lot of time with us and everything.
Do you think it's because she was your mom's mom?
I've never thought about it like that, but it could be.
Because I was close to my mom's mom, like, you know, and I don't know, I mean, it was just my mom. I mean, my mom was always in the picture, but I was always like sleeping at my grandparents, you know, like literally my first holiday without them was when they passed away. So it was like, you know, it was really hard. But if my grandparents left for Christmas, I would leave with them. Like, if they left for Thanksgiving, like I was always gone with them, you know. But it's so crazy that you relate so much to I can relate so much to what you're saying, like, right?
And I can't. Yo, that ass,
No,
because
he doesn't. Yeah, like he
yeah, my
doesn't.
childhood was never like around my grandparents like that. And then I've talked to my mom about it, and then she says like, she's like, it kind of is my fault, because when we would go over, for one, we wouldn't go over as much to my grandparents, but whenever we would go over, she'd just be like, okay, go play, you know. And then my grandpa was never really like I guess how my dad is with Milo, where like se lo lleva like to at the ranch, he goes to the back, and then they're like doing like ranch shit, you know. I don't know,
Yeah.
like, and my grandpa, I don't have any memory of him like ever, you know, tagging along with me or going somewhere or anything, you know. But so I am glad that we're doing that for
Milo. Yeah, because
Milo.
I remember when I was pregnant, I would tell his parents, like, oh my God, I want him to have the relationship that I had with my grandparents, with y'all. But then I was like, well, at the same time, I don't, just because I saw my grandparents as parents, and I wanted Milo to view his grandparents as grandparents, you know. And I think we've done a pretty good job, because he loves going over there with my mom
so good.
and his parents, you know. I think he's only scared of like my stepdad, because he's still like, he's always been in the picture, you know. But that's it, right?
Which one? No, not me, like which, but
My dad, David.
he's scared of you. Your dad
Yeah,
did?
like sometimes I feel like my dad tries to say hi to him, and he'll just like avoid him. But I just think it's because he doesn't see him often enough, and maybe that's my fault, you know, because I don't take him to my dad's side like that, like the way I take him to my mom or his parents, you know.
Yeah.
He goes where I go, pretty much.
I feel
you know?
like it sometimes depends on like the dynamic in the family, because like my dad's side of the family, yeah, like they're not as like close, and they don't really communicate that often. And of course he loved his parents, I loved my grandparents, but they didn't really show like affection or, you know, that like, oh, like family bonding, like they weren't really like that. But my mom's side of the family is like, they are very connected. Like whenever we would go, we would spend time at their house over there. And so I definitely grew like a closer bond and like
With
relationship with the mom side of the family.
No, yeah, I think with you it was your dad's side, right?
I grew more of a bond.
Yeah. It was like, which whenever I came around him, I was like, oh, it's weird. Like, he's more with the dad's side instead of the mom's, you know, because usually it's the mom's side.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then the whole flower stuff. Did your grandma have like a favorite one, or do you have a favorite flower?
She did have a favorite flower. Her favorite flower was orchids.
Oh, okay.
Super pretty flower.
Yeah.
They actually like, they are a flower, but kind of a plant. And so they live like for like 6 to 8 weeks if you take care of them. And then if
Is that the one you're supposed to put like ice?
Yes, that one.
Oh, okay. That's
And then
your mom's favorite.
Oh, it is.
really?
It is. Okay.
That is-
Yeah,
That's
it's
his mom's
such a pretty,
favorite.
it's very unique. Like, it's really different. And the fact that it lives so long is awesome. And it can even like rebloom. Like, if you trim it the right way and stuff, like a year later when it comes back into season, it'll bloom again too. Yeah.
Because
really cool.
that's his mom's favorite, and I'm really close to his mom too. So when I found out that, you know, that was her favorite, like, I would tell him, oh, we can get her this one or whatever. And she's the one who told me, which I'm surprised she knew, because she doesn't even know like about plants like that. But she's the one who told me that you're supposed to put ice. And she told, I don't know if it's true, but like that you're supposed to talk to it too. Or
I don't know
if
about
that's,
that
like-
part. I feel like that's more of like an old school Hispanic thing.
Yeah.
Because my mom says that my grandma used to talk to her flowers. But like,
Do you?
no, I don't. But
She does it. Okay,
I mean-
you're making me this amount of money.
well, I guess in a way I do, because like when I'm making a bouquet and like one of them like isn't cooperating, like it's not moving the way I want it to, I'll just be like, come on guy, like please, like I want you to be right here on this side, just stay there. But like she would like my grandma like le daba cariño, like she would talk to her flowers and be like, you look beautiful today, or things like that. And the house that we have like the family house in Guatemala, it's, you know, like houses over there are like built different, like they're literally made of concrete and stuff like that, and like they go up. And so in the middle of the house there's like I want to call it like a greenhouse, like el techo está abierto, and so it gets rainwater right there in the middle.
I see.
And there's like glass like around it. And so in like pictures you can see like it looks like a rainforest almost.
Have you been over there?
Yeah, I've been over there a couple of times. But ever since she passed, they don't keep as many flowers or anything over there. But in the pictures that I had seen, like, yeah, or I remember whenever I would go, Like the whole room was just filled with like flowers and plants.
That's badass. I kind of want something like that. Cause
Yeah.
I seen J Balvin. He has some shit like that over there at his
You
house.
just want it because he has it.
No, because when I saw it, I was like,
Like J
dang.
Balvin.
Yeah.
Nah, when I saw it, I was like, damn, that's pretty badass. And then in every corner, like of his, like house or whatever in the hallways, like there's always like a plant. I don't know if you saw the house tour, you know.
I saw a little bit of it.
But yeah, I was like, damn.
No, but I would
looks-
want
looks
that too.
dope.
Like, I just think that's very refreshing to see, you know. And so your mom is from Guatemala?
Yeah, both my parents are.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that they call y'all? Like, is it chapines?
Yeah,
Ah.
Chapinas. Chapin.
I never heard that.
And then I don't know what they call los hondureños. And then Salvadorians have one too.
Which is what?
I think it's either one is guanacos and the other one is
For Salvadoreños?
I don't know which one is which, but Hondurans and Salvadoreños,
Yeah, they
each
have-
one, each one has like, and then Guatemala has the chapines. I know that one because it's the only different one. I want to say Hondureños escatrachos. I don't know.
What
And
about
then-
me?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Salvadoreños I think is guanacos. I don't know. I could be wrong.
What about us?
Chuntaros. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I take that back. I'm
But
just
only
kidding.
the ones from the southeast side.
No, I don't know. I don't think Mexicans have like a name like that.
No.
You know why though? Because I think Mexico is so big that like the people from like lower de Mexico are closer to Guatemala, so the food is kind of similar because they're so close to each other.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And
like
then-
depending what part of Mexico you go to, like you'll see the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I told you, like that ceviche the aguachiles that they're like, oh, some from Sinaloa and they eat them like hella raw, and I'm just like, this does not seem healthy.
Apologize.
For what?
What would you call me now?
I am sorry because that was
Nah, I don't feel like that's an offensive thing.
Chuntaro?
Yeah.
Nah,
I
my
just-
grandpa used to call me that all the time.
Chuntaro. Is that I kind of look at that like naco,
Yeah,
shit,
it's
right?
pretty much the same thing. Yeah, naco.
but I'm narco.
But that's pretty cool though. Like,
You do the whole florist thing like full time? No. Do you? Yes. No.
oh no, well she does a lot. She's a
Oh yeah, she
I
does
do
a
a
lot.
lot.
That's what I'm
Oh,
thinking.
well, and then I work at a physical therapy clinic too.
oh okay, so it's like a full time but part time.
Full time on the side, because I mean it's year round. But as of right now, I am starting to take more of a step to where like I want to depend mostly on the flowers.
Oh, okay.
Because my job at the clinic, I love it so much. I love my patients. I love working with them, my coworkers. But sometimes I feel like I'm spending time there making X amount of money when I could be at home making more money with less time. Like it's more work, but I can make more and make on my own time.
And if you had to choose one to stop, it would be the physical therapy
It would be the clinic for now. Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
But because you said you were gonna be
Because-
licensed,
yeah,
right? So you're
yeah.
gonna make more money once you are licensed.
Yeah. So right now I just work as a technician, which like it helps me a lot with school because we could be going over a certain topic at school and then I go to the clinic and I'm seeing it like
And it's, like,
in the real
hands-on,
world
like,
and it's
yeah.
hands-on and I'm working with the patients. And the therapist trusts me enough to where like I'll be like, hey, this looks like it's getting easy for him. Let's try to progress him to this. And they'll be like, yeah, that's good. Try that. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll do it. So it helps me, but in regards to like my time and money, I want to be more dependent on my flowers now.
Would you want to do like the physical therapy, like where you're like a private person, where you just go to homes and stuff like that, or under somebody?
So my dream would be that I own a floral shop, self-sufficient, running on its own, have employees, and I PRN as a PT still.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I love my work. I love the physical therapy field. I definitely feel like that's where I am called to go to because of like the compassion that I have for people and wanting to see them get better and everything. But at the same time, like I love being a business owner and having that. And even with like a shop, I would love for it to be still like in the like local, like in the Pasadena-ish area, but have a whole property with it so that I can have like like a space for like community events or like worship nights or even just for parties or whatever, like have it really nice, have a garden there and everything would be like ideal for me.
Dang, that's like...
So, what would be your ideal like flower shop? Like, I guess going around like the ones I've seen, would you do anything different, or do you like the ones that are around the city?
I haven't seen too many.
I think the one he's talking about specifically is on Fannin.
I go to the Fannin Flowers.
Oh, no, not like that.
So that one's like more like like outside, and then there's like the what's that one by 45?
Oh, the one by...
I've only been there one time.
It's by
like
Kelly's.
It's like
in the
old. It's an old.
It's like Rose's Box or something like that.
Yeah, I think I have seen it. Well, the ones
I've
that
never
I've
been
seen,
inside of that one.
I've been
like
once.
the ones that I've seen most of the time, they're like in a, what is it called when they're in like with other businesses?
Like on a shopping strip?
Yeah, like on a strip. You know, they're on a strip, or like Fannin, that's like a, I mean, they're crazy though. Like, they're like 24 hours, 365 days a week. That's a lot to go into.
The other one I've been to is on Fairmont by HEB, but like HEB's on this side, and then there's a shop like on the other side. Mm-hmm. I've been to that one.
Okay. Yeah, what I would do differently is I would really love for it to be just like a standalone place, and have it be more of like more homey, more like you could just walk in, and like if you wanted to, you know, hang out there, like you could, or have like a little panaderia, like a little coffee shop maybe with a little something basic.
That'd be really cute.
But have definitely a space
I see
for
what
like
I can
outside
picture
tables
that.
and lights, and have like Bible studies or worship nights or parties, or you know, anything like that there.
Yeah,
that's dope.
I see it like with the string lights in the back.
Yes.
Yeah, I see it.
And then the neon lights, so you could take the pictures and stuff, right?
Yeah, or maybe like a mural or something on the side. That would be my dream for sure.
Dang, I definitely see you doing that, honestly, because I mean, it's a very I guess because I'm thinking like a lot of florists, when I think of like florists, is very like sad for some reason to me, because I feel like you know why? Maybe because since I worked at a funeral home, I dealt with a lot of those flowers, you know what I mean? And maybe that's why I related to that.
Yeah,
because my other grandma, her name's Rosa, right? But she's not big on flowers. She's more on like plants. Like, right? My grandma, she's given me so many baby cactuses, and she's always telling me like how to like, you know, take care of them, and somehow they always freaking dry. Right?
It's because I feel like we're just not plant people. We're flower people.
Okay, but me too. Me too, because I've literally killed like succulents and like cactus.
See,
and I have a friend who owns a plant shop, and he'll just be like, how? And I'm like, I don't know how I did it, but I did.
No, yeah, girl, my grandma's house, my abuela Rosa's house, is like full of plants, like literally inside, in the backyard, the front yard, like there's plants everywhere. She has plants out of freaking cups and houses, and just a freaking tire, like you know, like she just has like plants everywhere. But and it's crazy because her name is Rosa, you know, and she's like all about that. But I mean, and then she'll send me pictures, like, well, she hasn't, but she, like a while back, she'll send me like pictures she'll see like on Google where it's like a little bowl, and it's like she builds like a whole little community out of like plants and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen that. I've seen, it was like a huge, I saw this one that was like a huge vase, and then it had like the dirt and everything, but then it had like little pieces of the vase, and it made like a little staircase. Yeah. And it was just all of these like succulents and stuff.
She gave me one, remember? And Milo would play with the little rocks. She made like a little way, like
the one that was like
in the
outside?
front, and it dried up. Yeah,
I didn't really look at it like that though.
Yeah, it had like a little house. No, it didn't have a house, but she had like the succulents, like she had like different shapes of, because you know they're like different shapes. She had like 3 of them, and then she had like the baby ones that I was supposed to grow, and I never did because they died. And then like little rocks or pebbles, whatever, and she just like made it look into like a little cute little, I don't know, it was just like
like a little community
of succulents, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I guess plants and flowers are very different, right? Like,
yeah, they definitely can be different. Because each flower it has its own way of doing, like, of taking care of it. Like some, like roses, easy, no problem. Just snip the ends,
like diagonal, water, right?
Diagonal, put it in water, great, good to go. But then there's other ones that are like, you have to figure out like el modo to take care of them and preserve them until you give them to somebody. Like recently, and I made a little reel about it because it's a very different way of taking care of them. They're called hellebores, something like that. And so they actually bloom when it's freezing. So while other flowers die, these ones like bloom. And then
Yeah,
whenever
that's crazy.
you cut them and you're going to use them in like arrangements, they really like to have like the pressure of the water going up the stem. That's how they drink the water. And so whenever you have them in a vase, the vase has to be almost like super full for the if they start to like droop, the water has to go be really high up in the vase for them to drink it up.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way to take care of a carnation? I think I do a pretty good job, right? Like,
Yeah, and they stay alive for 2 days or so.
oh my God, you're lying.
Nah, they're up there.
I thought he was going to say 20 days. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right.
No, I was gonna
No,
say
they're
2
up
weeks.
there for a while.
Yeah, I honestly like.
Yeah,
I feel
they
like
last a long
because
time.
I just because I love like having the carnations around the house or whatever. Whenever somebody gives them to me, just random moments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess we can go on break and then we can come back and talk about them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. We'll be back. And like I was saying about the carnations, when I've done my research or whatever, it's like just cut it diagonal, clean the stem, make sure no leaves touch the water.
Yeah.
And then just change the water every now and then. I think that's literally the only thing I do. Like,
Those are really easy to even if like you
put the mic a little bit closer.
even if you don't have the water that clean, carnations just live so long. But that's like a big thing is and I've seen it with like at Kroger or even sometimes other florists that I've seen. They don't clean the stems, and so like the leaves can have like the bacteria or whatever, and so whenever the leaves are in the water, it just makes the water dirtier faster.
For which flowers?
The carnations.
The carnation?
Because I'm
Roses,
telling
yeah.
her that's how I do it.
Mm.
What's probably one of the hardest flowers to take care of?
Hardest one probably like the more specialty ones like peonies or ranunculus. Those are like, I think they're called buttercups. It's like the regular name for them. More of like the specialty flowers are harder to take care of because they need a certain temperature. So like tulips and peonies and stuff, if you keep them in like a fridge or like a cooler, they'll stay closed for a while. But as soon as you take them out and the temperature starts dropping, they start opening up. So I can't have them open up too soon. So I have to time it at the right time to make sure that by the time that I give it to somebody, they're just starting to bloom or they're at the perfect bloom when they receive them, and that they still have enough time, to have them at home and everything.
Oh, wow.
So do you get your flowers like, where do you get your flowers from? Like wholesale type?
Yeah,
Or-
I get mine wholesale. I've never really dived into like getting them straight from like the farms or anything like that. That seems like a lot more work and paperwork. So I just go to wholesalers here in Houston. So I have a couple places that I go to whenever I want to start making arrangements.
I've seen like some, I don't know if it was you, but like there's like this warehouse looking place. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, the most of the time they're actually warehouses. Like they're not cute little places. Like no, like they're straight up warehouses.
Oh,
There's
really?
2 that I go to really frequently. One of them, they changed the name, but it's called Bill Doran now, and so it's right next to Leland, where they used to have the what are they called? The pop-ups, like the vintage pop-ups.
Okay.
It's like right across the street from there. So that's one of them. And then I go to another one that's a little bit deeper into Houston, but it's literally in a strip where it's on like just trucks and like warehouses.
And you need like to be licensed to get them wholesale?
Yeah, you need to have like the proper like forms and stuff, and you need to like, you kind of need to apply, like you need to send them everything first.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll be like, okay, yeah, you're an authorized seller, you can
Yeah.
shop
It's
with
kind of
us.
like the same thing with the whole clothes. Like,
Yeah, I've heard that with
yeah.
clothes too.
Yeah, for sure. With clothes, you need to have like a permit and then apply and then,
So whenever I was gonna say like, so how do you go about like selling your flowers? Like, do you post like, hey guys, like I'm gonna be doing like this I don't know, I guess I'm thinking like in clothes terms, like brands, like we're like, all right, we're about to drop this is what we're dropping this day, whatever. Do you do that like with flowers? Like you're like, hey, I'm gonna sell roses on this day.
or you just go based off orders,
Or,
custom orders.
or like whatever people want.
I kind of try to do both. The one thing I really try to stay away from as much as possible is buying the flowers and then posting that I have them, because what ends up happening is like, what if nobody buys? Then I'm out, like, you know, that money, and it's perishable, so I can't save it for next week. I have to either make sure, like, most of the time I end up just doing like the custom orders, like everyday flowers. Like somebody's like, hey, next weekend's my mom's birthday, you know, I want this arrangement, sends me the deposit, boom, all done. And then once I do pick up the flowers, like maybe 1 to 2 days before, just to make sure that I have them and they start, you know, their process, they start blooming in time. Because if I try to do it the day of, like, no me da tiempo, it's too much to do at that time. So I have to really make sure, like, again, like I time it properly in advance, and people don't think about that.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask, like, how in advance do you get the flowers? And if because you were saying, like, you leave the flowers, like, in a cooler and stuff like that, like, so I was like, damn, I wonder how long, like, or how early you have to get them.
Yeah, people don't think about that. And so I have gotten messages where it's like, it'll be like 10 p.m. and my phone goes off and it's somebody like, hey, can I have an arrangement for noon tomorrow? And I'm like, no. In a nice way. No, like, unless like they are okay with like a designer's choice thing where it's like anything that you have tomorrow, which I have a lot of people that do that now, that like they've come with me, like they are returning customers, like they love my work, like they trust me, and so they'll just be like, hey, do you have anything for tomorrow? Like, whatever you have, I'll take it. I'm like, okay.
And do you usually have some stuff on
I'll
you?
have some every now and then. What ends up happening is, like, if I needed a dozen red roses, I can't just go to my suppliers and buy a dozen. I have to buy the bunch, and the bunch comes 25. So I'm paying for 25 when I really only need 12.
Oh, I see.
And so I do end up, like, if people ask for something, they'll just be like, anything you have. Or like anything with pink or anything with red. And so I'll usually just design from there, like based off the color palette that I have that week. So usually what I'll do is like you said, like, oh, I'll have something this week. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to have weekend minis in this color palette. And then people will buy from there.
Okay.
Have you ever considered doing like subscriptions?
Yes. So I'm actually like, since I want to like yes, exactly. Thank you. Great segue. That's something that I'm actually trying to get in this year. Just because it gives me like more time to plan. And on top of that, like I already have returning customers that usually want something either on like the weekly or like monthly basis. And so I want to be able to offer them like a subscription package where it's like, on this day of this month or of this week, you're going to have an arrangement like ready for you to come get or deliver or whatever. It's just, I don't know. It's something I think that it's time to finally start implementing, because I know a lot of people like that. And that's what I used to do. I used to just,
I think I would sign up for that, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it would be like, since I'm big on carnation type, like, oh, as long as it has something just with carnations, you know?
Exactly.
Does that show them the thing, babe?
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to show this early on. I was waiting for like, okay, at what point can I show this?
Isn't this like the cutest thing ever? We're gonna post a picture of it. Yeah, but like, so you see, like, she just put some carnations and like some other flowers. Like, this is really cute, you know. Like, I feel like the colors go with your page, like, very, because your page is very like pleasing to watch. That's why whenever we did the giveaway, I didn't want to like put anything too much, you know, because I just wanted it to like.
It goes so well with my feed. Like, I wanted to keep it on there, one, to show like, you know, your page, the collab, also like the collab. But it went so well with my page. Yeah,
because I was like, I need to do something like super where it doesn't throw off the page, you know, because I hate when sometimes it's just like when we have the podcast, you know, when we like, I don't know, we think we've had a few people where it's like, we don't want to throw off their page with the picture, you know. But
yeah, so we just ask them anyway though. But if they want to, they can collab. If not, then it's cool.
Yeah. But with the giveaway, I was like, man, I hope it just doesn't throw it off or whatever. So that's why I picked the colors.
I loved it. Yeah.
Which, by the way, guys, she was the collab giveaway person with chapter 3 for AI Mas, and it went really good. Like, it was just.
I really loved that. Like, the winner, like, she was super nice, and like she had her own business and everything, and I was able to meet her whenever I did a pop-up. Yeah, when I went to go do a pop-up, that week I was like, hey, you're a winner. Thank you so much for entering. You can pick it up at this pop-up that we're going to be at. So she came by and it was really nice meeting her.
Oh,
that's
Maricruz,
dope.
right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she has like her like a dog business, right?
Yeah, like it's
like she takes care of them and like treats them like a spa, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
Something like that for like
a
dogs.
grooming business. Type of
Like
thing.
yeah, because I seen that too, and I saw that she posted it. But I mean, I shipped out her stuff too, but that's pretty cool though. Like and with you, I had a few people tag you. And I knew about you because Roland had already told me, and since it was like a growing theme, I was like, I need to get like a florist for this collab, you know?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I had a good time with it. And I finally got to meet you.
No, yeah, I know. Because I knew about you because of Roland, and then Jess mentioned you. And then I was like, all right, I need to get to know her, like, talk to her, get in contact. We need to link up.
Yeah, and then we're supposed to have like a project or whatever, which I still want to do it, but I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, all right, like, I still want it to be like the shoe thing, because that was y'all did that, right? Like the flowers in the shoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I was like, damn, that's like badass. So I was like, all right, what if we did like the shoe with the flowers, and then I take that picture that Jessica takes, and then design it a certain way, or make some sort of poster or flyer or something out of it. But I feel like it can become something even bigger, like what if we were to come up with like vases, like shoe vases or something like that, and then
that would be dope.
like something crazy,
cool.
You know what I mean? Like like pottery. But I don't know if somebody out there does pottery, but I just think something like that would be badass, huh?
I had a class in high school.
Right there. She'll make it for us.
But I don't remember.
Just feel like high school was like what?
A long time ago. Wait, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh my god. Damn, she made me feel so old.
Yeah, I thought you were like our age group.
Yeah, I thought you were like our age group too.
It's funny you say that, because like with Jess, I mean, because Jess is closer to y'all's age.
Yeah.
But like we laugh at how like it really is kind of like a big sister, little sister thing, because we've gone through so many similar things in our life at sometimes even the same time. But she's like 4 years older than me. So it's cool like that I have like that kind of like big sister thing, and she kind of has like a little sister, in me. So it's cool. Like, I mean, the age thing, we don't even notice it sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't even. You're very mature for a 23.
So you worked at Foot Locker like when you were 12 or something?
You're saying that because he told you that.
No, I was like, damn, like, nah, 23 throws me off. I really thought you were like our age group.
Honestly,
and stuff,
yeah,
like,
it threw me off a lot.
I mean, I
you
had
were
a lot of people, even when I did work at Foot Locker, like, sometimes people would ask me, like, how old are you? Because even then, like, I mean, they would look at me and be like, are you like 18, 19?
But like, you lost or?
Like, yeah, what are you doing here? But then, like, they would speak to me and they're like, no, you have to be older, like 24, 25. But at that time, I'd be like 20, and I'd be like, no, I'm right in the middle, like, not 19, 18. I'm like older. But whenever people hear me speak, they assume that I am older.
Yeah, you talk very like calmly, like super calmly, right? I think that's what it's like. I'm just like, it really threw me off. I thought you were like 27, 26. Not because you looked that age, but just because,
Yeah.
you're really...
Yeah, no, somebody really thought that, like, when I was talking with him, he mentioned something, because he was 27 at the time. And then he said something about, like, our age and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, wait, how old are you? And I'm like, 22. And he's like, I thought you were 27.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So real fast, like, to touch on the graphics thing, you do graphics?
I do, but don't look too interested, because I only use Canva.
Oh, you're one of them?
I am one of them.
No, because I came across, I don't know if it's, I mean, obviously it's you, but I came across this, like, church page or whatever, and you were on it. And what page is that? It's a...
So, I handle, like, most of our church's, like, media. The only one that I don't really have too much hands on is, like, the youth page. But it's because I'm... like, with the girl that does it, her and I, like, work together, because she is a youth, but she's already on that. She even has, like, a youth group at, like, her high school and everything. Like, she takes care of all that. But I handle primarily, like, our young adults and, like, our Spanish and English pages. And so I actually, before I walked in, I made sure I had to post for our young adult thing tonight.
Yeah, because I was like, when I came across the page, I don't know how I got there, but the designs for them and stuff. Or I don't know if it's I think Giselle had posted it. It was like a flyer for I don't know if it was a dance or something, and she was gonna go. You remember?
Oh no, that's not me. I think I saw something about that recently, but I think it was at Grace.
Yeah,
I don't know.
goes to Grace.
Well, I don't know. But
Yeah,
but on the page I was on though, you were on there. It was like a video thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, yeah, it probably was the page that I was posting. But
yeah.
I make graphics for them. It's really fun for me because I get to make graphics one for like my business. So like I get to do like my own thing on it, design whatever I want, and I try to go for more of like a soft, like minimal type thing. But for our young adults and like the church, like I have to transition into more of like a organization, or like even with the young adults, like I'm trying to get more into like the grungy type thing.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was noticing, because I was like, man, the graphics are pretty good, you know, for Canva or whatever. But
I mean, to be fair, Photoshop just seems it's been something that I've been wanting really hard to like learn, but I don't know, it just seems so like overwhelming.
It is. Yeah. It is. I just, because, you know, I have the brand, and I don't do when I say, oh, I can Photoshop that. Like, it's like I'll Photoshop my shoe out of the picture, you know, because I can just color match whatever's around my foot, because he showed me how to do that. But then they'll be like, oh my God, make me look skinny, or take this out of my face. And I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot do that.
You want your shoes in it or not?
I just can't, you know, like just minimal stuff.
So you can make a whole shoe disappear and not a pimple?
I'm not going to take the beauty away from that pimple. No, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I just know maybe like 2 settings in like the Photoshop app, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've like looked into videos already on like how to do certain things, but I haven't like gotten the courage to really get in there and like start making stuff. And so I use Canva kind of like just to use like the elements that are in there, and like I'll start from scratch and just be like, okay, I have this in my mind, let me try this. And there's a lot of like features on there that I was surprised.
Yeah, there is.
So
all of my stuff is on Canva too.
Yeah.
The only graphic designs that I get done by him are the ones on the shirts.
Okay, cool.
Like the more simpler ones.
The super simple ones.
But honestly, well, what are you going to say?
That because I give you the idea and the fonts that I want, and you put it together.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because when you do it on those apps, I mean on Photoshop and stuff, you get like the quality to be able to either print or cut or whatever you're going to do with
yeah,
them.
and because of that too, because he gives me the files that I need to cut like really good or whatever.
Yeah, and that's why I want to get more involved with like Photoshop, because now that I have the experience of like making certain graphics, I have ideas for shirts, but I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't know nothing about clothing, and I don't know how to get like that file that would be printed on there, you know. But I know some people who have done brands and like have done printing and stuff like that. So,
well, if you ever have any questions, just let us know, and we can, you know, help you with all whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because we've had people reach out to us, like asking, right, like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? You know, and then we'll just tell them. I mean, knowledge is always free, like, you know. But yeah, I do a lot of the giveaway flyer. I did it on Canva too. Like everything I do is on my page is Canva. Yeah. But a lot of people think it's him doing it. Yeah.
Sounds like, because in the beginning I was like, man, like Canva, like
it's
gonna take away from like actual designers, you know. But
I've heard that from some people.
But then that's just how the world is, like, and it goes back to we usually say like, okay, for the people who don't want to give out their gems or their secrets or whatever, they're scared that whoever takes those secrets are just gonna blow up bigger than them or something, because you're giving them free knowledge and they're using it to their advantage, you know. So I was like, all right, Canva can be like, oh fuck, it might take away like my clients, or it might take away whatever, because they learn how to do their own stuff. But at that point, that's when you're like, all right, well, somehow you got to do better than Canva. Like you have to like provide something that Canva doesn't have, you know.
Yeah. And at that point, you get more of the clients that just don't have the actual time for creating that, you know. Yeah. And there'll be clients that just don't have the funds.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's even where like people are like, hey, can you do a flyer for me or whatever, and I'm like, man, like try Canva, like, you know, like I'll give it to them, because I know it's something that they might be able to do and might not be able to afford what I'm gonna charge for it or whatever. But
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just not my interest, so I'm just like, try Canva, you know, like let me know how it works out for you or whatever. If not, then I'll do something, you know, whatever. But
No, yeah, but you know what I do try to stay away from on Canva is like I'll look at Canva for ideas.
Yeah.
But like, let's say if I click on a pink one, like I'll make that whole design like the color that I need. But it's just, you know, just the idea behind it. And
Yeah. And that's what I like about things like Canva, because you have the templates to where you can see what they have. Whereas like with Photoshop, it's like I would have to scroll endlessly to try to find this certain like font or, you know, whatever.
And then you really, for Photoshop people, you really just have to, you start from scratch, right? Like,
yeah,
it's like a blank, you know,
like canvas.
Yeah, and then Canva is giving you like the idea.
Oh, they have templates and everything.
Yeah, that's how I have all my stuff.
So you just plug in like your pictures or whatever you're gonna put on there.
You can do that, or like you can do it like that where there's something, a template, it's perfect for what you need. All right, throw in a picture or your product or whatever. That's cool. I use it to like, say if I see a template and they have like the background that I like, instead of me having to scroll hours for like this certain type of like, you know, like the poster, when like you paint like a poster onto one of the walls and it has like that like kind of air bubbles or whatever. If I find a template that has that on the back, I'll just be like, okay, I like this background. I'm going to use this. Let me delete all this other stuff that I don't like. And I'll have like an idea in my mind, and that's where I'll start.
Yeah, that's pretty what I do too. Do you pay for it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So see, I have the free one.
Oh.
So then it's a little bit harder because I see a lot of them. What? What?
Nothing.
I'm so cheap, right?
Yeah. I feel like it takes a lot for you to like have to pay for like the app or something, you know.
Yeah,
but I feel like I'm like that too. Like I try to get around to like, all right, the free shit until I have to like, all right, I gotta pay for it. Like.
But see, like with the one that you pay for, you get to like make like little with things with transparent backgrounds.
Oh, really?
There's so many more options and fonts and stuff that you can use. Yeah.
I should look into it, honestly. Like AIMS probably could afford it now, but I'm always very like, if I can do it or I can save the money, I'm gonna do it myself, right?
I guess it's like I use it for so much. Like
I for sure.
It, you know,
I think yours
business,
it just saves you like a lot of the time just to pay for it. Yeah,
and I get to make like little videos and stuff sometimes on there, and so it works out really well for me right now. But again, like Photoshop is something I want to get to. But like I listened to this podcast, and the guy, it's a really great podcast. It's the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast. So he's really awesome. Talks a lot about leadership and entrepreneurial stuff. But like he said something where it's like limited resources are gonna drive innovation. And so if you have, you know, if you don't have enough of this, but you need that, like your brain, you're going to be able to problem solve and find a way to get there, even though you don't have like all of these multitude of things that, you know, maybe someone else has.
No, yeah, that's very true. Because I mean, it happens to me with the free app, and I'm limited to a lot of stuff. So I figure it out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because there's been times where I have to like do something for somebody, and then I've had to do where I'll go on I don't know, let's say I don't use Canva, but let's say like there's another
Rollie does not use Canva.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But like I go from one app, take whatever that font from that one app, bring it over to this app, put a background over to this app, you know. I even use like Instagram stories, and like I'll draw something and then like take that, and I'm always just like,
you know, it's so funny though, because Roland is so creative. So I know a lot of the people think that AI Mas is like, that a lot of the stuff is done by him, you know, which is not, just to put that out there, but it's not. Yeah, no, literally, because a lot of people think that he did my website, you know, and I did the website by myself.
But I don't make websites.
No, I know, but somehow they think that I'm not creative enough to do it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like your website is more creative than mine anyway.
Yeah, I'm the one that did like the research, and I'm like telling him, oh, you should do this on your website and this and that.
That's teamwork.
No, yeah. But damn, I forgot what I was gonna say about that.
I don't know.
That I did a video. I don't know if you've seen it for chapter 4, the one with the music, and it's just click flipping
with like
like
the
all the
club type
pictures.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, look, babe, I did this video. And then he's like, oh, it's badass. And I'm like, I know, I used an app and it did it for me.
And I was like, oh wow,
He's like, oh wow, that takes away from you doing it. And I'm just like,
She put it in there.
yeah, I did. I just inserted all the pictures.
and it just like it goes fast. I'm like, it's right on time and everything.
He's
It's
like,
brrr,
because
and
I
I'm-
did another one for chapter 3, and he's like, it's a little bit offbeat. I sent him like 4 videos because that one I had to manually like do it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't know, it's a little offbeat. It's a little offbeat. I'm just like, so then I ended up finding an app for free, and I just put all the pictures, and it did it for me. So when I showed him, I'm like, oh look, babe, I did it.
you know, like, damn, you're getting good. You know, like
And I'm
that's
like-
pretty dope.
But I was honest. I was like, nah, it was an app and did it for me. But damn, back to the flower business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, back to the flower business. I had a question about the flowers thing. It had to do with the warehouse. Oh, because I was gonna say like I guess because you said the warehouse isn't all that pretty or whatever. So I feel like I'm picturing like literally like an industrial thing, and then the flowers like on a belt, you know, and just dropping off into a box.
Okay,
and
so
stuff
that's
like,
that's how you're picturing it.
Yeah.
I picture it where it's like nothing but shelves. All the flowers aren't even out; they're just in boxes, and maybe just a few are out there. Is that how it is?
Y'all are both right.
Oh, really?
for real.
So it's like if you were to literally walk into a warehouse and you see how like there's like big old boxes of things everywhere and it's all dusty, lights flickering, literally that part. And then you walk into the cooler, which is an industrial size cooler, like probably like the size of like a house. Like it's like a really big, and they have like shelves and like just black crates filled with water, and then all the flowers are just in there. They're like, and they're packaged up in like their bunches and everything. And I have to go in there and like look and scavenge and see.
And who do you go by yourself normally, or with
Yeah.
somebody?
No, I normally go by myself. It's rare that I ever go with anybody. If it is, it's because maybe like I need help like transporting them. Like I need more space. But it's usually me by myself, and I go and I pick out everything that I want. If I have questions, or it's like, or I need something else, I'll be like, hey, like, do y'all have this in the bag? Like, you know, that question.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll say, yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the truck
true.
just came in,
You
so-
gotta ask.
How often are you in there, or do you go over
Do you
there?
think they know
Probably-
you already?
Oh, yeah, they know me. I mean, I have a sales rep.
Oh,
so you
I
do
see.
have somebody that's kind of like assigned to you that your account is with. And so sometimes like if I need a certain flower, I'll text them and I'll be like, hey, do y'all have this flower in right now? He'll be like, yeah, we do. It's at this rate. And I'll be like, great, you know, charge it and I'll come pick it up later. So I can do that
That's
with
cool.
like when I know I need something specific. But say somebody just DM'd me and they want to place an order for something that's in all pink or pink and white. And so I'll be like, all right, let me go to my supplier and I'll go and I'll see what they have, and then I'll coordinate and I'll design something from, you know, what's available to me, because flowers are seasonal, so sometimes
No,
I don't
yeah.
have what I
Yeah.
want.
So maybe this is like a question you don't have to answer, but how is the profit margin? Is it good or no?
I was gonna say, do you want to come back?
Oh,
the
it's-
alarm went off.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. We'll be back, guys.
Yeah.
We're back, guys. So tell us, how is the profit? Good or bad?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
When things are good. So like if I because I mean obviously everything's dependent on the buyer, so most of the time it's pretty good. I make a good amount of money.
You can keep going.
Okay. But sometimes again, like if maybe I have extra flowers and nobody ends up buying them, they're perishable, they go to waste, so I break even.
Oh, I see.
So sometimes I'm good. I'm usually either break even, or most of the time I make my profit.
And
But,
what about
yeah.
like if you have the extra flowers, do you just like give them to your mom or family?
Yeah. So usually I'll like make a little arrangement for me or for the house. One of my coworkers, like our front office lady, she loves flowers, and so I always bring her flowers like on random days, and she just has them there in the office, and she's
Aw.
like, oh, I love looking at them. Or just in general, if I'm going to like meet a friend and I have flowers, I'll take. So I love giving flowers to people.
Yeah. Well, you can give me flowers whenever you want.
Carnations.
Yeah.
You think people look at you like, oh, that's the flower girl? Like,
Yes, not all the time, because in the beginning, I was saying earlier, like in the beginning when I first started my business, I didn't, since it it just happened. Like I didn't have a business plan or, you know, have a brand identity or nothing like that. I just kind of like would post the flowers and like that's it. And now recently when I came back to starting the business again, I wanted to be more transparent and like really form like a community and like connection with people and share more about like what I do and like, you know, why. So now I'm showing my face more. And so every now and then, like, yeah, like, because I stay in the Pasadena area. So like, you know, I'll get noticed, or sometimes, you know, someone will like look at me like do a double take and I'm like, but like one time I went to the Spankies on Spencer. Shout out Spankies.
Shout out Spankies, man.
They're so
Shout out
good.
Spankies. I went with my mom. We just went to go get some food, and we sit down. I'm just wearing a t-shirt, you know, bun, you know, I'm just going to eat. The waiter, he comes and he gets our drinks and then he leaves. And then he comes back and he's like, are you Carmen? And I was like, what? He's like, are you Carmen's Flowers? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, like my manager saw you when you walked in. Like, you know, she wants to come say hi. And oh my gosh. And I was like, oh, great. Así toda greñuda, but it's okay. And it was really cool. And then, you know,
And that
they
happened
hooked
to
it
us
up with the meal, you know?
It happened to us at Spanky's too.
Really?
Well, to him. Remember?
Oh, wow.
When
Oh,
one of
yeah,
the
yeah.
guys-
Yeah, but it was because he knew me from my brother.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
through my
Cool.
brother.
Oh, that's so
But, yeah.
cool.
But I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I don't know who you are.
But it is
bro,
pretty
but-
cool though, right? Like when
It
people
is
do.
cool. And like I had said, I'm not really a super fan of being in front of the camera, but I mean, it's cool whenever like you get to like, you know, people see you and they come to you and they want to talk with you. And so whenever now like I do pop-ups and stuff, like that's my favorite, is being able to like interact with people and like they know the person behind like the business, you know.
How do you go about pop-ups? Like, do you take just arrangements and try to sell whatever you have?
Yeah, for the most part, because it's not like, unless I have orders and I decide, you know what, I had this color palette this week, let me go get some more of this and I'll make this. It's fun for me because I get to go and pick out anything I want, like anything I want, and just design whatever I want. But pop-ups for me are mostly just like networking and like something fun to do, because I think y'all talked about it before with somebody, but like people don't really go to pop-ups to like spend money, like they just go for fun or to walk around and see people, you know. So pop-ups are fun just to like go and do, and you know, I definitely am able to network more with people. And so I get offered like new opportunities. Like I have some new opportunities that are coming up that I really, really want to take hold of and just do it.
It's like events and stuff like that.
Yeah, people will come to me and ask for like events, but I have somebody who owns a business, like a storefront, and they're expanding, and so they want to expand and also have flowers there. And it's in a really good part of like downtown Houston, and so I'm really
Excited.
interested in considering it. Yeah.
Dang. Well, hopefully whenever we get our office, you can, you know, bring, you know, we can hire you for
I know,
some
because we want to have like,
Yeah.
we want to have a big space, like a creative space. so yeah, something like that would be pretty
because
badass, you know?
my AA Mas logo has 2 carnations, as in like me and my grandma, you know. But I mean, it's flowers. Obviously, I'm not like as knowledge. I don't have that much knowledge, you know.
Yeah. Whenever you want, I'd love
that's
to do
really
like an
cool.
installation or something.
Oh yeah, that'd be really
I kind
cool.
of want to touch on that, like the pop-ups thing, like because I feel like there's a lot of brands or like starting off brands that don't show their face, you know. But if you ever were to decide to do a pop-up or anything, and people go to the table and stuff, like they just don't know unless you're the only person there, they won't know who to like talk to, like, or say like, hey, I follow you on Instagram, you know, or whatever. Like it happened one time with me when we went to Primos, right? We went to Primos one time, and then there was I think it was a ceviche. I forgot who it was, but I did a design for, I think it was Captain Ceviche or some shit like that. And I'm like, I don't need, like the guy's name is not even on the page, you know, or I don't know.
I don't even know the guy's name.
So I'm just like,
and
hey,
I know he's like well known,
Yeah.
but I don't know his name.
I'm pretty sure I have his name somewhere, but I was like, hey, you're so and so, right? And then the guy's like, nah, man, it's not.
He just left.
Yeah, he just left. Like none of us are the guy, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I just want to say what's up to him, you know. But it's cool, or whatever. And they're like, all right. But
No, yeah.
but yeah, you know, like it is kind of important to show your face somehow, or make it like where, I don't know how to. It's either you want that brand to like, you just don't want to attach yourself to it, or you know.
No, yeah.
Pero a brand like that or a business like that is gonna do a lot of pop-ups. So you would kind of want to be there, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I guess like once you get to a certain point in your business and it's that like self-sufficient, it's the business, like that is like it's its own thing, it's its own identity. But I think with certain other like businesses, it is important to have like that face, because like with me, especially now, I've been getting a lot of like bridal inquiries, and so I don't want it to just be like this business or this shop, like I don't even know who it is. Like I want, you know, the bride and groom, or like, you know, somebody wants something for their mom, or it's like a sympathy arrangement. Like I want them to have a face with the name and be able to trust me and know that I'm gonna deliver and I'm gonna do it to like the best that I can, like full excellence.
Yeah.
You know, especially whenever they trust me with such important occasions, I want it to be known like that they can connect with me, they can trust me.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that's very big.
I have another question. Like I know we're jumping around and stuff, but like through the break over there, I was thinking about, did you, since like there's like a wholesale for the flowers and everything, did the flower like industry or whatever like have what's it called?
Spit it out.
I'm trying to think of like the word. Did they have a shortage like because of COVID?
Oh, so yeah, and we're still seeing the shortage. I know like a couple of like people that I follow, just, you know, random accounts like across like the US and stuff. They shared a lot of posts and like talked about it a lot, and it's something that I need to be more vocal about, especially right now. But basically, like whenever COVID happened, you know, everybody shut down, including flower farms. And again, those things are perishable. Like you just said, like, you know, they can die. And so what ended up happening during COVID was that like these places weren't being tended to, or the places shut down, or people got sick. And so flower farms have to also like be very timely on like what they cultivate at what time for what season. And so what happens was like, you know, these places shut down. And so we're seeing the effects of it now, a year, 2 years later, when those flowers are supposed to be in full bloom, when wedding season is coming, you know, and there, it's not as much of a shortage now as it is like with everything else. Is like, it's a huge increase in like price.
Yeah.
And so that's something that, you know, needs to be vocalized, especially to people who are wanting to buy, because for the most part, I think I do a really great job at like pricing things accordingly. Sometimes I do underestimate myself and like I undersell myself, but I'm getting better at it. But it's important to like be vocal about like the fact that like, hey, peonies used to be maybe like $5 a stem, which is pretty expensive for a flower. But now I had just checked in with my supplier about seeing if they had any, and it was $11.99 a stem.
Oh my
Damn.
God.
For one. Yeah. And so it gets really challenging whenever you have to think about, you know, the cost of each item, and the fact that you have to buy it wholesale, and then you have to, you know, make your design, and that's just the price like of the supplies. Like, you know, you have to put in like your time and labor. Yeah.
No, it's
no, go ahead. No, I was gonna say. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's very hard to price like yourself whenever you're a business owner, like, because you don't ever want to underpay yourself.
I forgot what I was gonna say now, like, for real.
Well, you swallowed like a whole bunch of air.
No, I forgot what I was gonna say now, like, damn.
Well, I was gonna ask you.
I do have one more question though.
Oh my God, go ahead with your question. Go.
No, it's the process. Like I was gonna.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I was gonna say, like, how does it go from like time of order, or the you know, when they order, to delivery? Like, what's the process like?
So it really takes a lot of planning, and it goes over like a span of several days. So someone inquires, you know, usually it is like a back and forth thing. They'll just be like, I want flowers, and I'm like, okay, what color? Very rarely they'll have like either like a picture or like a whole like color palette in mind of exactly what they want. And so we'll kind of go back and forth for a little bit, and then from there, once they send their deposit, orders finalized, okay, this is going to be the date of the event or whatever. So then I have to like start designing, like thinking of like the color palette, thinking of what kind of flowers I'm going to want to use, see what's, you know, in season. And then a couple days before, maybe like 2 to 3 days, I'll start, you know, having to schedule out the time that I'm going to make sure that I go pick up the flowers, because those suppliers, they're only open from like 7 to 3. Monday through Friday.
Oh,
damn.
wow.
So the time that I even can go get the flowers is limited. And then on top of that, like I mentioned, you know, I have school, I have this, I have that. So I have to find, like, I'll usually have like a little sliver of time that I can go get the flowers and then bring them home. So I have to be very, very mindful about when I can go get my products, and that it coincides with like the time that they need to be ready.
Yeah.
Does that limit you from taking orders a lot?
Yeah, for sure. It does. Because if somebody, like I said, I don't know, it's 4:30 on a Friday and they want something for Sunday, pues ya no puedo. Like, they're closed.
No,
I can't do it. So it kind of sucks that I have to say no, but for the most part, people usually want them like al principio, like for the weekend. So then I could go like on Thursday morning. And if you wanted it for Saturday or Sunday, boom, like I'll have it ready for you. So that's really tough having to navigate through. But once I get over that, you know, I'll bring the flowers home. I start processing them, start cleaning out the leaves, taking off the ugly petals, cutting them, putting them where they need to go. Some can stay out. Some have to be in the refrigerated. And then I have to wait until maybe the night before or the morning of to actually like arrange it and put it together into a bouquet and have it all wrapped and ready. And then I still have to be mindful of keeping it in water until they're going to be picked up.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I'm thinking like whenever I would go get flowers for her at Fannin or whatever, and how they just like like put it together and wrap it up, and then I just give them to her like that, you know. But there's like an art, I guess, like for you to put them together and everything. Like that's what like sets you apart, like from I guess regular flower.
It's like
shops, you
a
know?
clothing brand from Macy's.
Yeah. And like I take a lot of pride in wanting to offer a different style that you don't find at Fan and you don't find it at Kroger. It'll be something, you know, that it's, especially now I'm going more into like the organic type of feel where I want it to look almost like you walked into a magical garden and you just plucked out this bouquet and it's like all flowy and bouncy and has all of these colors moving. Like I love the movement. I'm not the biggest fan of like just like 50 roses just stuck together.
Like
which it looks nice.
You don't like the what are they called? Los buchones?
Oh,
El buchon or something like that. That's not you.
No, not me. I can do it.
Yeah.
I have done it in the past, but even then, like I'll still include like a specific type of wrapping, or I'll include like a little gold leaf accent, or just so that it's still my style, but for what the customer wants.
Yeah. Where were you when we got married, man? My bouquet was
I was probably still in high school.
Yours looks like a soccer ball, right?
Oh my God, girl. Mine looked like a soccer ball. I hated it so much. Like, they did not understand the assignment. And we got them at Fannin. That's probably why. Honestly, like, I was like, I just want carnations, you know. And I'm like, you know, I want a little bit of green and the baby breaths. That's what they're called, right? I was like, I just want that. And then white carnations. And then some, like, silver ones. But, like the glittery, because you know how they can make the white ones and then just put like silver glitter or whatever. That's what I wanted, girl. The silver, it was gray. They painted the whole flower gray, and it looked like a hella like a freaking soccer ball.
Le daron una pelota, like fuck it, like.
So when my uncle showed up with it, I'm telling you, I wanted to cry. I was like, I even think I did cry, and I was like, Tío, I don't like it. And then he was like, Mija, no se puede hacer nada, you know. And I was like, I don't like it. Like, and I didn't want to take pictures with it. Like, I hated it.
I know. That's like one of my biggest fears is like that somebody won't like it. And so I always do my best. Like whenever I talk with people, is like, show me pictures of something at least that you have in mind.
References or anything.
Or just like, even if it's my own work, something that I've made and you like it. Or just, you know, hey, even if it's like a tema, like monochromatic. Everything just different shades of white, no greens. All right, great. I can work with that. So I try to get really specific. I don't do bridal bouquets too often, but I have been more lately. And so I like to make like a proposal of like, this is your color palette. Okay, these are the types of flowers that I'm going to try to work with. You know, I might kind of veer out from it, but essentially this is what I'll be using. And so I've learned obviously like the names of flowers or certain kinds that I like, certain kinds that I don't like. And I kind of go from there because that's like my biggest fear is that I'll ever do that to a bride.
No, yeah, because I mean, it came out on our video and I was just like, I hate that fucking ball. Like, it literally looks like a soccer ball. And I just,
whenever
like,
she threw the bouquet back, somebody came out and kicked it and stuff, right?
You're such a liar. No,
So-
and it was so round, girl.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it
was
looked
round.
like a whole ball.
Kind of looked like a snow cone, ¿verdad? También.
Yeah, it was just so horrible. Let's not talk about it anymore. It makes me sad. Like,
What's
honestly.
your packaging like? Like, how do you like package your flowers and stuff?
What do you mean?
Like, whenever you deliver them, like, you know, sometimes like you wrap them in something, or like, what's that like?
Or like if it has a vase.
Or do you have do you just do vases? Do you do like is there like paper wrap or?
I think she does
stuff
both,
like-
right?
Yeah, I do both. I'll do bases, and again with that, most of the time, because there's can be so many types and sizes, I'll usually like send them a reference picture of like what it is and like the sizing, just so that they can get a more like visual of it. But then for bouquets, I do like it's kind of like a plastic wrap, like it's like made out of plastic. So if it does get wet, it's fine. You're all good. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
it's
I
not
see.
like paper or like the brown paper that like si se moja, like there goes your bouquet, you know.
Yeah.
I like to use like the plastic one. It's not the most environmentally friendly.
No,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I'm working with what I got so far.
Yeah.
But at least with that, like, you know, I like the ones that have like a gold trim, because I don't know, it gives them more of like a specialty luxury type of
Yeah.
feel to it.
What's the biggest order that you've ever had?
Yeah, I was
like
gonna ask you that too.
I have a story behind the biggest order. So basically somebody ordered a 200 rose bouquet, and that one was it 100 or 150? It was more than 100, I remember. So that's bigger than me. And I was like, okay, it's just roses though, not a problem, not a big deal. I'll get the kinds that I like, and it'll look really nice when I arrange it. And so I was at work, I was about to get off, and I was gonna go get the flowers. And so I go and they're closed. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? And they were closed. And I pull up and I'm like, this is so weird. Like what's going on? And at that time I was only with one supplier. I hadn't gone to like find some other ones yet. And so I'm like, dude, I have to make this arrangement. I need to get them today because I have to work like the next day, dia después. And I started freaking out. I was like, what am I going to do? And that's whenever I reached out to another florist, like right there in the area. She was like really close to me. And I reached out to her and I'm like, Blooms by Sue's, shout out.
Okay.
I messaged her and I'm like, dude, like, they're closed. And she's like, what do you mean? And so we both started talking. We tried to figure it out. We're like, what are we gonna do? At that time, she did have another supplier, and so she was like, you know what, like, you know, meet me at this time and we'll both go, and like, you're not a supplier with them, but I'll talk with them and see what we can do. And so we went to her place, and yeah, it turns out there was like a whole bunch of stuff going on with the company, and they were like, a new owner came in, but like it was super random that they were just like closed.
Yeah.
And in the back of my head, I was like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna find 200 roses? But luckily, like, they came in clutch over there, and I was able to get it. And to this day, it's like sometimes people will send me that and they'll be like, how much? Because it's so big and like beautiful, and it's like you could like hug it. It's all these roses.
Dang,
So that's probably
crazy.
like the biggest sized one that I've ever made.
What's the price range for something like that? Over 100 roses, just like a
starting price.
starting price. Yeah.
Starting price. Let me see, because I do like the 50 rose bouquet pretty often, and so that one's like around like 175.
Oh, okay. So maybe like double.
Yeah, around double. Yeah.
And so it's pretty often that you get the 51.
The 51 I actually do get pretty often, like not like every week or anything, but people send me that one pretty frequently, and they're like this, and I'm like, okay.
How is
Yeah.
you mentioned Blooms by Zeus, right? Because she was the other florist that I got tagged on.
Yeah.
So they tagged her and they tagged you the most.
Oh, okay.
Whenever I asked for like a florist for the people, but I ended up like going with you. I mean, me and her had talked, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep in contact. But I ended up just like picking you just because of Jess and then Roland. So I kind of knew a little bit more about you than Suzette. I'm assuming that's her
Yeah,
name.
her name's
Oh,
Suzette.
okay, but she has a lot of following too, right? Like,
Yeah, she has a lot, and I've actually been off Twitter for a while now. But the last time I checked, like, she had a lot of followers on Twitter
really?
too. Yeah.
So how is the florist community, or is it just her that you talk to?
I know a couple in the area. One of them, she's more like on the north side, I think. But like you had mentioned, like in the very beginning, like there's not like
not many.
being a florist is kind of unique, like
Yeah.
at least like besides like the, you know, older shop owners that have had shops for like years upon years. Right now, like in our more like, you know, modern like entrepreneurial like Instagram business type of thing, there's not that many. But luckily, like her and I, like she's so sweet, like she's really, really awesome, and she has a lot of connections and everything. And so she reached out to me and I reached out to her, and so we had like a mutual understanding of like, you know, we're cool with each other and everything. And so when all that stuff happened with our supplier, we were both like, all right, let's figure this out together, because if not, like we're both losing here.
That's badass.
Yeah, so that's really cool, you know. And we haven't talked that much recently. I know she just got back on, like, you know, I think she had taken a break, like I had taken a break too. But she's really cool people.
That's why I asked you about the subscriptions, because she has that, right?
Yeah, I think she does. She does a lot of stuff. Yeah, I don't know how she does it, but she does a lot.
Yeah, because you do everything by yourself, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. The only times, like, my parents are very, very supportive of it. That's why, like, the thought of having a shop and them working at it too, like, is a dream, because my mom will help me more with like bigger holidays and stuff. She's able to, like, I'll show her what the flower is and she'll be like, okay. And so I have recipes, you know, so that everybody gets, you know, everybody that orders a medium gets the same medium. And so I'll have a recipe, and so she'll go and like she'll get the recipes ready while I like arrange and design them. And like my dad does a lot of like the grunt work. Like he'll be like, no, yo te lavo las cubetas. Like, I'll wash the buckets. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll sweep. I'll take out the trash.
Yeah.
And my brother, like, he'll do deliveries for me sometimes when he's in town.
Oh, that's badass. Okay. So it's like a whole family thing.
Yeah.
That's really cool, right?
Yeah, it is. Do you ever feel like if it was to become bigger and you don't do the arrangement part, because I feel like that's might be your favorite part, like,
yeah.
Do you think you would be able to hand that over to somebody else, or do you feel like there'll be a disconnect, like, fuck, like I didn't make that one, like, or how do you feel?
I've thought about that, because sometimes people have told me, like, you know, what if you need help, like, you know, because obviously I can only design a certain amount at a time. So I've thought about it. But first I've thought more so about doing like classes, like workshops. And then from there, you know, I'm hoping that like de eso sale someone who I can really depend on and trust, and that they have that same eye to be able to arrange like in the same way, and that they can help me with it.
No, yeah. Oh, that's a pretty smart idea of like having to like pick out the person that you would, you know, come along and help you.
Yeah, because like right now
everything.
it's hard. Like I don't know anybody else who can really do that, or who I would trust to do that. Because for the most part, like with most, even just like the floral designers who do like weddings and these huge extravagant events for like, you know, the celebrities and stuff, you know, they have like a lead designer who like, you know, does the things or like sketches them out and everything like that. So I would love for like me to be able to find somebody like that, but at the same time, like I want to get more in touch with like more of like the event and like the wedding florists, and like learn from them, learn about like the installations and like, you know, the big things that go behind like these huge weddings and stuff like that. I want to be able to like know a lot more about different things too.
No, yeah. Dang, that's badass.
I know.
Did you have any other questions? Let me see. I think
I was gonna ask something else based off of the last answer.
Oh, I was gonna ask you, what's the best season you have? Like I guess the best season in the year, like
probably the season we're in right now, like between like January and like June, because I have my two big holidays, which is Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. Yeah, so I have both of those, and so it gets a little difficult because usually there are more events anyways during that time, and like, you know, it's my semester in school, and then, you know, my birthday and like a bunch of other birthdays and stuff like that, graduations. But this usually is like the more busy season, and you know, we're getting into the wedding season as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Dang. Well, I think that was it for me.
Yeah, because you were pretty much talking about the community, because she was gonna ask you about like the florist community and everything, but
I did.
You did?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Oh, I didn't hear the question, but I was like, oh, she's talking about it, so like it's good, like she's answering the question, but I didn't hear you ask the question.
We were like having like a whole I know.
I know we're talking about it, but I didn't hear the question.
He was gonna ask it again. So anyway,
I was like, so you had the question right, like.
Do you have any upcoming projects that you want to let the people know about?
Let's see. I mean, hopefully one with Rollie and Jess.
Yeah.
That would be a really fun project. I want to do more like collaborations, like just something different, you know, like the shoe thing was different, you know, and people saw that and they were like, dang, like you can do creative, that too. And so I did have somebody who had came to me and was like, hey, like, you know, my girlfriend, she has the mochas, like I don't know what he wanted to do. It was her birthday or something, or he bought them for her, I don't remember. And he was like, can you do this with like, you know, the shoes or whatever? And we talked about it, but he ended up just deciding on like a regular arrangement and not like the flowers in the shoes. But whenever we first did that, like a lot of people like showed love on that because it's different, you know, and
it's different.
And it shows like the multiple interests that I have, you know, because working at Foot Locker for so long, how do you not
that's true.
like shoes?
Because I do want to get into curating spaces and like installations and stuff like that too. So I think something like that would be pretty dope too. For a future drop or something like that for us.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, like whenever like Mania first opened, I did like some arrangements for them and like, you know, some pieces.
You still have though, right? Because I seen him post not that long ago.
I don't remember the last time I did one for him. I think it might have been last Valentine's Day. They wanted something.
Oh, really? Because I thought he posted it, right?
I don't know. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, but like they'll still come. Like Terry, he'll still come to me and be like, "Hey, we want to do something like this with the plants. Like, you know, what can you come up with?" Or we'll talk about certain things sometimes when they want to do like plants or flowers. But I want to get to do more things like that, more like events for like other parts of like, you know, not just, you know, weddings and things like that, birthdays. I want to do more like just creative things.
Yeah. And with that, what's your Instagram so they know where to follow you?
My Instagram is at carmens.flowers.
So make sure that you follow her on with all her information is going to be in the description below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Yeah,
and follow our TikTok. I'm trying to blow that up.
Oh, okay. I need to go follow y'all's TikTok.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of clips from, but I try to grab like the badass clips, you know.
Yeah.
But
and again, thank you for joining us. It was a really like
thank you
a
for
lot of information. Honestly,
thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for the arrangement too.
You're welcome.
I love it. Alrighty, peace out, guys.
Bye, guys. Peace.